Hello and welcome. Look who I got.
Hey, hello, hello.
From
I mean,
across
I must say that is quite some intro, Kevin. My God, who did you go to that? It's like the guy from Star Wars or something like that. Put that together.
Spielberg himself.
You got to tell me how you do that. How you do the intro thing before it all starts? It's all like
Yeah, gets you in the zone. Yep, gets the heart pumping. A friend of mine, I chose the music and he did the rest. So yeah, he did a wonderful job. Most people like it. Some people compare it. It is what it is. I enjoy it, and it puts us in the right energy to be in these connections. And so, yeah, I love it. Thank you.
You must tell me off camera, how you do that intro thing. But anyway,
it's actually pretty easy. And for me to say that is actually something, considering I found something out this morning that I did not know. You might have known this, Hogarth. You probably did. Because I watch on my phone as well, the live chat. Well, there's this little squiggly buttons beside the scissors. That's what I call them, the little squiggly buttons. And if you click it, you can say, it says live chat or top chat. This is new to me. I did not know this. So I always had it. I think it defaults to top chat. Well, if you click live chat, it does it live. Because that's what, anyway.
Yeah, but I thought that's what you did anyways. Anyway.
I mean, I think I thought I did, but apparently there's a one other little button that really makes it into the live chat. I don't know. I don't know if there's a difference. Maybe someone in the chat knows. This felt like
I can see on my side. Let's just see here what's going on here. Anyway, never mind. There's some comments you've got here. Let me just close that.
An early Christmas present. Nonetheless, thank you for coming back.
My pleasure. Forgive that I've got a little cold, everyone. I've got a little bit of cold. I've been very, very busy sipping my ginger and the honey lemon tea.
Oh, that's a good recipe. Yeah, I've spent lots of time on your channel, and it's fun reading together. We come from different areas of what's kind of in our wheelhouse, but I find the collab is always really fun. And so your ability to, because you're that balance of you read, you're an expert in astrology, the Vedic astrology, and you are intuitive and psychic. And so in that, you kind of meld the two together, and it's top notch. So
thank you.
Pleasure to have you here. So we will thank you all for being here, all these lovely people that are joining. Nice to see you all. I will make an announcement a couple of times just as an invitation. One of our community members, Karen Rixman, her partner, as some of you probably already know this, is on the wait list for a heart transplant. And and so just in their healing journey, they are open to people helping and showing support if they can. And so every little bit does make a difference. And I know that 100% of it goes to really helping. And so that if you can, and I know that just even in your prayers, so whatever you can be in your offering, the link is in the description box below for the GoFundMe as well. She just sent me the PayPal, and I will put that after the show into the description box if you feel called to contribute in any way. So I just wanted to say that, and I will say that a couple times just during the show. And today's show, we're going to, because we spent so much time getting to know Hogarth the first time he was on my channel, we are going to do some readings today. And then just mix it up a bit because he is such a, he's got his cards. He's an expert, like I said, in astrology, and now adding that layer of prediction. And so I'm curious, I saw that you write a blog. You're a very good writer.
Oh, thank you.
And in your blog, I didn't read the whole thing, but I know that you published your predictions for 2023. And I'll just back up and say, if you are looking to connect with Hogarth for a reading, I know that he's booked for the rest of this year, but he is open for consultations for one-on-ones in the new year. That information is also in the description. So if you feel called, check him out. I had a reading And I did that live. And now I will just say that I'm going to be gifting, I hope they're not watching, but I'll be gifting someone for Christmas a session with him as well, because it was that good. Whoa.
Wow.
Top,
Monsieur.
top.
Thank you so much. So yes, yeah, December I'm booked out. Just forget December; it's all booked out now. But there is space in January as well. So people, again, thank you so much. That's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. So if you want to share, can you share a few of those predictions?
Oh,
yeah.
The dreams. Yeah, the dreams, the dreams, and it's been very interesting. This is something that I mean, look, I have always had kind of like psychic dreams and stuff intermittently, and particularly when it comes to, you know, friends and family and stuff. And I dreamt that my mother would pass away in a very kind of particular way, and that it came out exactly how the dream is. It came out exactly how the dream was. That's how it played out. I've seen my nieces and nephews before they were born, and all of this kind of stuff. My late father, as many of you may know, who passed away in August, and it turns out, I think he was very psychic as well. But as you know, for men, it's often a bit more difficult to admit to these kind of intuitive kind of things. And my sister on my dad's side said to me that because my dad, typical Jamaican man, really loved his cigarettes. Let's just put it that way. His special cigarettes, which have a very distinctive smell, which many of you would know. But he revealed to her that he would smoke his cigarettes to stop the dreams.
Oh,
interesting.
Wow.
So on both sides, on my mother's side and on my dad's side, there's psychic blood there. And one of the main, I mean, there's been so many, but one of the significant ones that I talked about, of course, was my dream that I had about Duck Larange, who Donald Trump, Donald Trump. And it happened on June 22nd this year on the solstice. Again, they normally come small hours of the morning, 4 or 5 o'clock, where I had the dream of Mar-a-Lago collapsing, completely collapsing into the sea and this, that, and the other. And it was a big drama. And there were 2 women in the dream, one with blonde hair, one with dark hair. I don't want to get too long into the details, but I was asking everyone, who do you think it is? And some people say, maybe it's the bunker, maybe it's this person or that person. Then what happened with the January 6th committee and the special witness that turned up, and I saw the brunette, Cassidy Hutchinson, and I recognized her immediately. I was like, oh my goodness, she was the woman from the dream. And then I was like, well, who's the blonde one? Everyone's like, it must be Ivanka, must be blah, blah, blah. That ended up being Sarah Matthews, who turned up at the end. And I was like, wow. So, and then of course, after that, there was the raid or the search by the FBI for all the documents, everything's coming out. Then there was the Category 4 hurricane that hit Florida, sadly, knocking out a lot of infrastructure. And then there was that Category 1 storm that literally blew over Mar-a-Lago. So I was saying to everyone, look, he's done. He's toast. This dream means it's over. That's the sense that I got.
Yeah.
So with that, and I have other dreams and stuff. And my most recent dream, which I think you wanted to discuss, was my dream about the Dragon of China.
Yeah.
So what would you like to know about that?
Whatever you'd like to share. We got an hour.
Okay, that's true. That's a good point.
Whatever you would like to highlight in it. Yeah.
Well, what I should say is there was something important that happened before the dream. And one of the things is, and this is a little shout out to my friend Annabelle.
Oh, yes.
She's an actor, lovely woman. And we used to work together for years and years. And I'm still in touch with a lot of my King's Place crew people. Those who watch my channel have an idea of who those people are. Anyway, she's got a gift for Reiki in her chart. And anyway, so it was my birthday in October, and I had a big shindig at this nice hotel, etc. And as a thank you, my friend Annabelle gave me my first Reiki session. I've never done Reiki, never had Reiki before until this point. Anyway, so we're talking for ages about this, that, and the other. And I lay down and she starts the Reiki. And the second she begins, I leave my body instantly. And then what happened was, this is the best way I can describe it. I was basically introduced to the highest version of myself, like my angelic self. Not joking. Anyway, and there I am riding on one of my dragons, because I have this thing in dreams. It's very shamanic, where I ride on dragons and stuff like that. Anyway, it was incredible. And there were people. My mother entered the room. Spiritually, she came in, people walking around. I said to her, Annabelle, who was walking around? She said, like, no one, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it was this incredible experience. Came home. So much more I could discuss on that. But anyway, came home and my energy was still so high. I had clients that evening. And what happened was I couldn't get my Zoom to work. It just wiped out all of my appointments, everything for that day. It just went blank, literally wiped. I had to restart my computer and my phone twice, and it took half an hour. And I was like, I need to calm the energy down. And then it worked. And then I was able to see my clients. So that kind of took me to some other level. And then that's recently when I had this dragon dream about China. And so I was having one of these shamanic dreams, and I was flying on this white dragon. She's called Aurora. My dragon is called Aurora. And we were flying, and I heard this in the dream. I heard this noise, this kind of like, like when a cat is really distressed.
Okay, yeah.
And it's like caught its foot in something, or it's got itself into a real pickle. There's that certain keening cry
that
a cat does. But it was at a much lower octaves, yeah? And I was like, oh my God, what's this? And we're flying, and I saw this whole cave system. And then I realized we were flying over China. Oh my, wow. Anyway, so we swoop down, and we go to this cave where this noise is coming out, and I'm still on the back of Aurora. I'm just like between her shoulder blades. We go into this huge cave, and there is a massive dragon in there. Absolutely huge. One of the biggest dragons I've ever seen in my life.
Wow. And
I look at it, and the color of it was a greenish gray. Like with car metallic paint, and you look at it and it's one color, and then you look again, it's like that. That's what the dragon was like.
Okay.
Grayish green. And it was in huge distress, crying out, and it was shackled. It was chained. And so I got off my dragon, and I used my light wand. I had a light wand. And then basically I just released the shackles off the dragon. I just released them.
Wow.
And then we turned around and we left. And then I had a little look behind once we started to fly off again. And the dragon came out, peeped out of the caves, and sniffed the air a bit and was looking around. So it was free. It wasn't flying, but it was free. But also as well, the dragon dropped into my mind. I realize it's from the dragon now. The words Qi Ching. Yeah. And I was like, Qi Ching, what does that mean? So whenever I have these dreams, I'll write the notes in the morning. So this was at 4:55 a.m. So I'm barely awake. I'm like, you know what? I'll Google it later. So I slept, got up, Googled it. Then what did I learn? Because I knew the words Qi Ching. Oh, what's this? Someone saying, in short, save the Chinese people from total repression. Well, I'm not sure if I can take that full credit, but maybe. And when I Googled it, I was astonished at what I found, Kevin. Because it turns out that Qi Ching, as I'd heard, was because I thought maybe it's something to do with a region or something in China, and it was. It was actually in reference to the Duke of Qing, Duke Qing of Qi.
Wow.
Yeah, Duke Qing of Qi, who used to be an ancient ruler in old China way back. And he had a battle which was called the Battle of An. Like this, literally, can you imagine? I'm having a dream and this turns out to be real things. And in this battle, Duke Qing was humbled and had to serve the people. Yeah. So I knew that the dragon was dropping and was basically saying, this is what could happen to Xi Jinping for entertainment purposes only.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you.
And I thought, I was like, oh my God, this was real. This is real. And it turns out, because if you think, what are dragons? They are also, they don't just fly and burn down villages.
Right.
They don't just do that. Dragons are great repositories of not only magic, but also knowledge and wisdom.
Yeah.
That's why they're associated with gold. They're very, very important in Chinese culture in particular, and most of Eastern Asia. And they have incredibly long lifespans. They don't live forever, but they live for thousands of years. Now, in the karmic cycle of souls, when karma is complete, normally takes 9 generations. Yeah, family karma. Sorry, often completes in 9 generations, but this was way older than that. So this guy, he died in 582 BC.
A while ago.
Which means that the dragon gave me a reference that was 2,582 years old. Which for me, I just find that is astonishing. So, but what I find even more remarkable, and I had a feeling it would happen, about a day or two after doing my light one thing, what has happened in mainland China since? The government has begun to roll back all of the restrictions across the whole country. Just saying.
Wow. Okay.
Your thoughts, Kevin, your thoughts.
I mean, your attention to the detail in it, that's really brilliant. That stands out. I will share with you I'm just trying to edit this into not mentioning names, of course, but in the last maybe 3 months of my readings, I lost count with how many times the energy of the dragon came into the reading. And they brought my awareness, and part of their message had to do with the elements. So them being attached to different elements was a part of the reading. And so it's curious to me. And the part about when you say like their ability to live for thousands of years, I think I heard you say in that, it makes me think about the human potential to live for thousands of years if we didn't live in the constructs of what society says and the limitations that we put on it. So there's something that's standing out in that for me as well. That's pretty big.
It's remarkable, because I realized after the dream, I was like, something massive is going on. Because even in the comments, people started to report their dragon dreams as well.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my God, obviously this isn't just me. Also, my clients have reported some of their dragon dreams. Even one of my clients and we had the same dream.
Oh, wow.
She wasn't on the dragon, but she saw the dragon coming out and sort of like testing if it was safe. Isn't that actually?
Wow.
That was the whole
one
thing.
That they add that extra layer when there's like multiples having the similar experience or the same to help with our like validation, to deepen our trust in those things. Because sometimes in the loneliness of just being in the experience by ourselves, that can look and feel really different. So amazing. I have a question for you that came to me around, is there a connection in astrology that has to do with someone's sign to connect with dreams, I guess is what I'm asking. Like, is there any What am I asking? Do you know what I'm
Well, I
asking?
mean,
Like, are
there,
dreams associated like in this? I'm not talking your language, but like in this house or in this like this, or is there any
absolutely,
correlation between men and
absolutely.
dreamers?
I mean, the houses that are most significant in terms of dreams, out of body experiences, or just the psychic in general, are the moksha houses. Moksha, so it's spelled Moksha, moksha. And the moksha houses are the water houses in terms of the original natural order of the zodiac, with Aries being first. So the fourth sign or the fourth house is essentially ruled by the energy of Cancer, which is a water sign. Then the
Oh,
next house you have is the eighth house, Scorpio. And then finally, you have the 12th house, which is Pisces, yeah, in the natural order. They're all moksha houses and they're all Brahmin as well. So anyone who has a water ascendant, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces is automatically Brahmin, yeah, because the ascendant is the body, the identity, etc., and stuff like that. Water is the most sensitive and malleable, of course, of
mm,
all of the elements. It takes on any shape, any form that is poured into, is innately receptive, and it has the energy of yin. Yeah, yang is associated with fire, but the signs also have masculine and feminine polarities. So all air signs and fire signs are considered masculine, and all water signs and earth signs are considered feminine. Yeah. Since
yeah,
I've been seeing quite a bit of dragons come through in my Reiki sessions lately as well.
yeah.
Yeah, Kevin's, yeah, yeah. And this is the download I had the other day, and I think this is really exciting. You know how we're seeing all of this shadow in the world? Yeah, all this douchebaggery, all this horrible stuff going on.
Yeah.
With this Pluto returns in the United States charts, but Pluto is going through the sign of Capricorn, which deals with government structures, in rules, regulations of all kinds. And this is why we're also seeing so much stuff happen, shadow coming out all over the world.
Okay.
However,
Yeah.
also part of the energy of Pluto, Pluto represents the eighth house on his own. He's the modern co-ruler of Scorpio. Pluto and Scorpio is the phoenix rising from the ashes, but as I would say, turning lead into gold. Alchemy. As we're seeing all of this political rules, regulations, shadow, all of the cra with the GOP and all these different kind of things to do with restrictions, lockdowns, the whole shebang.
Yeah.
There is also this energy of alchemy going on. And what I'm finding is this is going on in the collective psyche of everyone on earth who is receptive to that vibration. And really what I'm finding is happening is I think magic is returning. Magic is coming back.
Yeah, it was it.
Yeah, because the breakthroughs my clients are having, the dreams that they're having, but people who are just switched on in general are understanding something else is going on, and we're coming out of a period of time which is called Kali Yuga. Yeah, everyone just list up the yugas. So Kali Yuga will be Yuga, Kali Yuga. But there's these other yugas, the top being the highest one, yeah, which is like what is it called? Let me just see here. Here we go. It's like this. Let me just show this little diagram. It's not the best, but there we are. So this is Kali Yuga down here.
Okay.
And these yugas last for thousands of years. We're just coming out. Kali Yuga is the worst one. It's when humanity forgets itself.
Okay.
Forgets its psychic potential, forgets its gifts. That's when everyone gets warped.
Toilet flush.
Right. Yeah. It's when we're steeped in violence and brutality and rape and pillage and all murderous stuff. People being burnt at the stake and all of this stuff. And it's when the world becomes very literal. People only can believe in what they can see, touch, and taste.
Yeah.
But we're coming out of that now. We're now going into an age which is called Dwapara Yuga. And Dwapara Yuga is the increasing where we begin to remember who we truly are. And I just seeing it all around me. But what happens is the old world has to break down first. So those rules, regulations, that what we're seeing rise up is like the last death rattle, of those people that want to control, dominate, obliterate others.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Madame, Putinshka. Yeah. Look at Putin and his horrible whatever's going on.
Yeah.
Again, for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah.
So we are moving out now into Dwapara, where we're going through this ascendance in human consciousness. And everyone can actually just Google these yugas. This is something that is part of the Vedic astrology canon, which describes the motions of consciousness. And I think it's like a 24,000 year cycle.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Mm-hmm. So I think magic is coming back in, we'll see, next 3-4 years. But I think I would imagine, especially 10-20 years from now, wow. It's gonna be epic.
I love it. I have something for you. Oh, I'm like, am I gonna brave this? And so I'm open to things that I sit in meditation. And actually, it was last night that I got a bunch of downloads, and the one that I want to share, call it a prediction, if you will, was that I heard in one of the major constellations, one of the stars is going to go out.
Beetlejuice.
Is that
the one?
Is
Beetlejuice?
I don't know. I didn't get any other detail other than in 2023 that is going to occur.
Wow. Well, I can fill you in then.
Okay.
There's been a debate and talk, and this is obviously I do astrology, but this is astronomy. Yeah. Classic physics, shall we say? And they've been looking at the star Betelgeuse, which sits in the constellation of Sidereal Gemini.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So everyone's familiar with the film Betelgeuse, Betelgeuse, Betelgeuse.
Yeah.
But what's been happening is that the light from Betelgeuse has been fluctuating. And there is speculation in certain astronomical circles that the star may explode into a supernova. They're not sure when it's going to happen yet, but it could happen next year or 5-6 years after that. But this is word on the astronomical street, shall we say, that Betelgeuse may turn into a supernova. So that could be what your dream is talking about.
The timing's interesting. Last night, you being here today, me braving and actually saying that and thinking, is that even possible? Because I didn't Google check to fact to see if that's even an actual thing that could occur. What do I know? So interesting. I just want to say some hellos. I see lots of other channels in the chat. Our friend Debbie Freebird Spirit and Kevin Loving Vibration and Sheila Spirit. Hello to all of you. Thank you all for being here. And Starseed Awakening 1111 is Karen that I was talking about. So Karen, thank you for being here.
I have to do some more collabs next. I think Sheila's been trying to get in touch with me. Forgive me, Sheila, if I've not gone back. I've just been so busy. But 2023, I'm going to look at new collabs and stuff like that as well. So I'll get there. But forgive me, anyone that's been trying to get in touch. I've literally been run off my feet. So
sometimes the emails can be a lot.
Oh my.
And then you think maybe like, you think about it, and then it's like time passes. It's not an excuse. Life happens. But I've been there, so it's all good. It's all good. All right. Shall we do some questions?
Sure.
Let's do it. Thanks everybody for being here. And if you haven't subscribed, Hogarth's channel is Hogarth's Global Astrology. So do go over, subscribe to his channel if you have not already. It's great.
Oh,
And I love your Saturday show with Lady B and with Dr. Lena Rodriguez. It's a great collab.
Thank you. I mean, we have such a blast doing that show. I mean, what's funny in that? I mean, well, we all know that I'm a bit of a talker, but every once in a while, someone in the comments tells me to shut up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm the host. I have to say something. Yeah.
Totally.
So I'm just like, whatever.
And
anyway,
here you thought today coming on mine was going to be like a chance to just kind of like, and here I am making you answer all these questions. So you're such a good sport, Hogarth. I appreciate it. Because you're a wealth of knowledge, and you bring, you know, the science, and you bring the mysticism, and you blend the two in such a way that's fascinating and relatable. And there's a teacher in you for sure. So in that, it's great to have you as a guest.
Thank you.
All righty. I'm seeing what's interesting too is I'm seeing, and maybe this will speak to some of them because I know we won't get to all of the questions, but lots of people are asking medical and health related questions. Is there something that is connecting to what we're going through astrologically that will create some change in that for improvement, if you will?
Yeah. One of the first things that leaps to mind, and it's a combination of things. It's to do with the eclipses, the cycle of the eclipses. And normally they happen twice a year, 6 months apart. Lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, or solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, depending when it begins. So to give you an example of the impact of these things.
Thank you, Rhonda.
On 30th of April, 2022, this year, the sun, which represents the kingdom, leadership on authority figures of all kinds, government, stuff like that, big movers and shakers, CEOs, Supreme Court things, stuff like that. The eclipse was in sidereal Aries. Yeah, sidereal Aries. Remember, Western astrology is 24 degrees ahead of the true place. Right. It still works, but it's not in the, it's not there up quite exactly where, where it should be. It still works, but it's in a different place. Anyway, so on the 30th of April, 2022, the solar eclipse, and eclipses bring out surprises, things that we didn't know before, things that were previously hidden, suspected, but then they become clear. And it was in sidereal Aries in the nakshatra star cluster, because each sign is made up of 3 or 2 1/4 nakshatras, which are star clusters, which bring the flavor of the star signs actually down here on Earth. And it was in Bharani nakshatra, Bharani, which is sub-ruled by planet Venus. And each nakshatra has its own mythology and its own deities and symbolism. The symbolism of Bharani nakshatra is the yoni, which means the female reproductive system.
Oh.
What happened 2 days after that? On the 2nd of May, it was leaked that the High Court was going to do what? Overturn Roe versus Wade, which has been about what? The female reproductive system.
Yeah.
So the first eclipse of a new season in a new year will indicate what the rest of that year is going to be about. And we've seen what? The culmination. We've seen the effect it's had on the GOP, etc., etc., etc. So I wanted to say that. Yeah. Eclipses, what I found, and this isn't in the books, but just in terms of my own work and practice, are like 2 escalators. In the mall, you go, one escalator goes up, the other comes down. Eclipses take energy and people out and bring new energy and people in simultaneously. So we can often, for me, it's like the Tower card and the World card combined. Shocks and surprises, some unpleasant, some are pleasant, and endings are beginnings, beginnings and endings. That's what eclipses are like. This set of eclipses, which have been happening in sidereal Aries and the opposite Libra, have been a real doozy for a lot of people. There's been a lot of shocks and health stuff, and people losing pets. Yeah, if it falls into your sixth house deals with health and healing and overcoming obstacles, and it can also deal with pets.
Thank you, Grace.
So, thank you for that donation.
Kind.
Also, as well, with Pluto, because we're effectively, what is happening as well, what I'm noticing, what's happening for a lot of people's health, Pluto is also the planet of purge.
Oh.
Purge. A lot of people are having health issues come up because the energies are changing. The Kundalini is rising. So much transformation happening in the collective, and this is also affecting people's health as well. So I just thought I wanted to add that.
It's interesting, yeah, and maybe this will go into this other question here. So it feels like in that energy, the shift would be for positive, and going into looking at the medical field. That was actually some of the things that I did get a couple other things yesterday, and it's interesting how these things are playing out. So I did hear that choice of words, that there would be a breakthrough in hearing loss, that we would have the ability to reestablish hearing loss. And then I didn't get detail about this, but the price, and I know that this is something that's a problem in the United States and maybe other areas as well, but the price of insulin would be dramatically lowered. So I think this kind of filters into some of the people that were asking medical questions, Nancy and Beatrice and a couple of other people. I feel like the pendulum is shifting, that we've kind of been in the energy, and hearing you say how the eclipses contribute to that, I feel some lightness around it. I feel that there will be positive change. Yeah,
I've got something to add to that as well. Saturn, the movement of the big planets, Jupiter and Saturn, they're the big boys of the solar system. Huge gravitational forces. Jupiter's gravity is so strong that it actually pulls on the sun. And the sun has its own 12-year cycle. I think it's called the Berry cycle or something like that, where it moves around a circle of its own orbit, which is caused by the pull of Jupiter. If Jupiter were any larger, it would have become a star. He's a huge gas giant called Jiva, or one of his Sanskrit names is Jiva, which means life preserver, life giver. The gravity of Jupiter is so strong, it deflects meteors and stuff away from Earth. Jupiter literally protects us. But the other biggie, of course, is Saturn. Saturn's gravitational forces are so strong that even though he's a gas giant, he's made like the atmosphere, carbon dioxide, and all these gases. The gravitational force is so strong that he has these carbon showers, and the pressure is so great that the carbon turns into diamonds.
Yes.
It actually rains diamonds on Saturn. Saturn has a storm at the top of it, which is hexagonal. It has a hexagonal storm. And what's very interesting is Saturn is very closely associated with what? Commitment, duality, endurance. Diamond is what? The most enduring substance in the universe, one of them. Saturn and Venus are best friends, and Saturn is what? Venus is the planet of what? Relationships, marriage. What do they say? Diamonds are a girl's best friend. What do you give when you're committed to someone? You give them an engagement ring. Wow. Don't worry out there, folks, if you've got a tiny diamond for your great engagement. They are expensive. Or a zirconia from, what is it called? One of those online shopping.
Totally.
But that's what it is. But the point is, why am I saying this? Next year, Saturn is changing signs.
Oh, okay.
He's leaving sidereal Capricorn, because Saturn spends 2.5 years in each sign. He entered sidereal Capricorn, and now you got to remember, in the West, they're saying that in Western astrology, they're saying Saturn is in Aquarius already. In terms of the astronomical reality, he's not there yet. He's at the end of sidereal Capricorn. But to give you an idea, he entered sidereal Capricorn on the 30th of January, 2020. What happens soon after that?
Oh, pandemic.
Right. Saturn is the planet of what? Rules, regulations, restrictions, containment, confinement, delays, having to wait. Yeah. He's like the hermit card. Yeah. That's when he actually went in. But on the 17th of January, 2023, Saturn is changing signs and will enter sidereal Aquarius. Which also belongs to him. Saturn rules Capricorn and Aquarius, but it's co-ruled by Uranus and Rahu. You know the waves that you see in Aquarius? They refer to electricity, sound, energy. Isn't it funny you were saying that there might be a cure for what? Hearing, which is what? Sound waves.
Oh, interesting.
Now, interesting. From next year. So watch out, guys. 17th of January, 2023, he will just enter. Now, for the full effects, Saturn is a slow-moving planet. It's called Shani. So we'll have to wait a few months. But guess what? Saturn, although he's a slow-moving planet and he deals with restrictions and stuff like that, but when he's in his own signs, it is different. Saturn is the lord of time. Capricorn is an earth sign. So earth signs are a bit slower, but have you noticed how much everything is sped up? Yeah. Have you noticed since Saturn's been going direct that people are getting what? Their karmas, their comeuppance. Yeah. When he goes into a sidereal Aquarius, things are going to speed up even more. If you thought that 2020 and 2021, my God, just you wait. Aviation, travel, all sorts of innovations, breakthroughs. Aquarius is also a sign of what? Science. So he deals with conventional science and esoteric science as well. People are going to be getting extraordinary downloads, breakthroughs, new things, new technologies, ideas, concepts that are going to be happening globally. We're also going to see governments probably, and this will happen probably in 2025, when Uranus moves into sidereal Taurus. In the West, they have him in Taurus already, but when he moves into sidereal Taurus in 2025, there's most likely to be a new global electronic currency. But we're going to see this move in that direction speed up because Aquarius is the sign of tech, humanity, trades, goods, services of all kinds, the marketplace, innovations, eccentricities, new ways of doing things. So strap yourselves in, folks. It's going to be remarkable.
And in that, attaching, because that was the original kind of question that led into this, was our ability to heal quicker in that. And so that's a beautiful part. So for all of you, because I know there was a bunch, and I kept noticing the health questions coming in. And it's not to say that doesn't happen, but I don't think I've ever seen so many in that. So that is for all of you that were asking that. And sometimes that can be a delicate thing to kind of tune into, especially in this capacity, but that spoke to Spirit saying that spoke to a lot of you. So that's good. I love that.
Thank you. Especially energy work, light work, sound work. We're going to see some changes also as well. Look what I've got at the base of the deck, which turned up. The star. And the star deals with what? Recovery, healing, recovering after duress. So isn't it interesting? I just looked at the base of the deck.
There's that story.
So that means that we are going to have new breakthroughs in terms of healing, and it's all to do with the energy, the emotions. So many things. Microdosing could be another thing as well.
Another thing that they had shared, and I'll just release these things as Spirit kind of says this is a good time to share this, but they were science was watching animal behavior in a very different way, and the animals are instrumental in teaching us. And so I think there's going to be more to come. They did put a focus on the behavior of the monkeys. And so in that, they attached it to, literally I wrote down science breakthroughs. So the animal kingdom and that connection to science and medicine, that's going to unfold as well in the year to come. So interesting. All right, let's do some questions. We have to have you on like weekly. Conversation. It's wonderful. I appreciate it. I like it. I always love giving people the time to like share what they want to share. And I think that that's actually something that Spirit has taught me over and over. Yes, it's great to do the readings, and it's great to be in the conversation, because in that, there's message in that. And so I think sometimes that reaches more of us, if you will. And so I appreciate it. And I love it how you take your time to walk us through things that, well, I'll speak for myself, that are a little bit over my head. So, because then what you do, Hogarth, is that you add the practical, relatable experiences that are really digestible, so we can all understand, or I can understand. So thank you. And that's wonderful. Okay. Where should we go here? Spirit, spin the wheel. My mouse won't work. Well, that's interesting. What about, as I'm saying that, my mouse won't work, but what about retrograde? Is that, are we in a double something? Did I hear this right? Mercury and Mars coming up?
We will be due Mercury retrograde soon. So Mercury goes retrograde about 3 times a year.
Okay.
And about approximately 3 weeks each time. So the Mercury retrograde is quite a common one. And of course, people know about all missed messages and stuff like that. And it really is true. I mean, there's been so many times when I have bookings around Mercury retrograde, many clients forget the time, or we try and set up on Zoom, and Zoom basically explodes. Just doesn't work. And, there's that. At the moment, though, Mars is retrograde.
Okay.
And Mars is the planet of war, conflict, etc., which everyone knows. But also as well, Mars also deals with logic, problem solving, also deals with doctors and nurses, but surgeons in particular.
Okay.
Mars also represents siblings, your brothers in particular, and land and real estate. So, but at the moment, look, if you think, whenever a planet is retrograde, you can put RE in front of the word. So revise, review, revisit, reassess.
Oh, I love that.
So a certain someone who is a leader in Russia is having to do what? Reassess, reevaluate what? A certain war that's going on. Mm-hmm. He's got very interesting for leaders and stuff coming up, but that's in my prediction things. You can find it on the community page, and you can just read it all there. But it's all started to come true already. So yeah, so there's a review and revise of all things to do with, war and stuff like that, etc.
Cool. Patricia, I'm not sure what this is, but can friends in chat drop a word that describes our Kevin? I'm working on something. Okay. I can think of a few. Ridiculous. There you have it. Okay, this one, my eye was drawn here. Sam Klein, I think I'm saying that right. Do my guides or my parents have? I'm thinking you were asking for a message. Yeah. Sam, are you actually still here?
Sam Klein. Let's see.
Oh,
Sam Klein. What messages? Sam Klein. Let's just pull a few cards. Sam Klein.
And Debbie, I'm with you on that. She says, oh my God, it feels like it goes retrograde way more. It does. It really, is it true, or is it the same? Does it
it's the same, it's consistent. However, these last eclipses have been so powerful, it's been acting like Mercury retrograde. So we had the solar eclipse on October 25th this year, and then of course the lunar eclipse on the day of the midterms. And I found near the eclipses, even then, it was acting like a Mercury retrograde, things going wrong with equipment and Zoom meetings, emails, Yeah, it was
Okay.
really interesting, this one.
I'm not. If Sam, are you here? Because we like to read if you are here. So we will maybe go to the next one.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Sam's worrying about a few things, though. I could just see. Well, look, I'll do a quick flash while you find the next one. So here I got the Three of Cups, which is all about what getting together, celebrating, etc., all of that kind of stuff. So that's sort of like symbolizing the reading, but this can also as well talk about family, any kind of gathering. But what's the obstacle? Heartbreak. Yeah. So it seems like Sam is obviously, thinking about, his parents and stuff like that. But just in general, there could be a sense of betrayal or just like, oh man, feeling a bit down, like life is tough. Looking after the pennies, yeah, trying to conserve, trying to budget. Might be worrying a little bit about Christmas because obviously we've had Thanksgiving now, Christmas is here, and it's just like, inflation. But here, some messages kind of like coming through and stuff like that. If we look here, this is a sword, page of swords, which deals with the intellect, coming up with ideas and stuff like that. Now, the outcome card here is the Nine of Swords, which can show there's quite a bit of worry and stuff going on. But let's not end on a Debbie Downer. Let's pull another card and see what's going on. Look at that. So, but look at that. Clarifier is the Star.
Oh, sure.
Star, wonderful card, one of the best cards in the deck. So basically, is what I'm seeing here as the message is your parents know that you've been struggling, yeah, in some kind of way. You've probably been reminiscing about the past, yeah, the good times, thinking about the good times with the parents or what have you, yeah. But it's been stressful of late, yeah, money worries, stuff like that. But you've got to focus on your new ideas. Here we are, Page of Swords. Yes, sleepless nights. However, better stuff is on the way. So it looks like to me, your 2023, Sam, going to get better. So they're giving you hope. They're saying, don't give up. Don't give up. They're with you.
I love it. Great message. Hopefully they watch the replay or through osmosis receive that message. It's wonderful. Oh, I just saw a little orb fly over your head. We have, speaking of orbs, sunlight. Can I please have a card? You may.
Just one. All right. Do a card. A card in relation to what, though, sunlight? Like 2023? Or I'm going to assume 2023.
Yeah, if you want to clarify a little bit, narrow that down. That's pretty general, but if you would like to have us look at something a little more specific. Okay, general reading next year. Okay, perfect. I pulled 3 cards. Actually, 2 jumped out, and I had pulled 1 for you, Sunlight. I've got the energy around reconciliation, and so with that, it's standing in your knowing. So it's not necessarily about being right or wrong, but really just standing in that place of the ability to let go and to move forward for you. And we can do that for other people, but Spirit's actually bringing the attention to you around this. They brought the balance card, which sometimes in that, if we place all of our energy or we take on energy of other people, sometimes we can be out of our balance. So it feels like it's a really teachable moment for you. And moving into the energy of next year, this will assist you. And so it's like on the end of or the closing of this year, it feels like there were some really good lessons that were taught, and they will assist you if you choose to kind of be in the reflection of the learning that occurred from this from the energy of that. So you don't need to go into the detail, but it feels really good. It feels like yet another check in the learning based on the experiences that you're having. So yeah, feels good.
Interessante. So here's my cards. And my cards always are slightly a bit dramatic, by the way, just always happen.
Drama.
Drama. So here we are. This is Page of Cups. Now everyone knows I call this card Stinky Fish. Yeah, Stinky Fish. And what it normally means is, pages are all about messages, but Page of Cups can sometimes be it can be a message, but sometimes it can be a slightly unpleasant one. Not always, but we need to look in the context. Next card, Ten of Pentacles. Sorry, which can deal with family legacies, yeah, or because it is the card that has the generation of 3 generations of a family on one card: grandpa, the dogs, the parent, the kids, and the grandkids, yeah, all playing around. Can also deal with institutions as well, big institutions, corporate. So there could be something where there may have been an unpleasant message, perhaps connected with the family, or some big organization of some kind. The next card I get here is the Page of Wands, and this is about speaking up. Yeah, it's about Wands is about passion, desire, moving forward. Pages again are messages. It can also mean young people, but it can also mean speaking up, being a speaker. So it seems like she's having to speak. Maybe there's been an unpleasant message, and she's having to speak up about some stuff. I don't know if it's happened over Thanksgiving, around the Thanksgiving table. I hope not. Anyway, when we look here, we get the 5 of Wands. So you can see here, this is about battles or disagreements of opinion, not being able to align on something. So there's definitely something that's come up here, which has been a bit awkward. And it feels like Sunlight may have had to say something, and there's been a backwards and forwards. However, the outcome is lovely. Look at this. The Empress. So the Empress is about creativity, fecundity, new projects. Can even deal with pregnancy as well. I'm not saying Sunlight is pregnant, but it deals with bountiful, the harvest, new things coming, creative endeavors. So maybe 2023 is looking like, after the air is cleared, there could be an opportunities for new growth and new beginnings. How about that?
Sounds promising. So good. All right, Sunlight, thank you so much for your question. Hogarth, I just want to check in. Are you okay for maybe 10 more minutes?
Yeah, I can manage 10 more minutes. Yeah, my voice still holds out.
Totally. This one caught my eye. It's a kind of a yes or no. Jeffrey's asking, recently I have felt called to seek out life in a tiny house in the woods. Is that on my path in the next few years?
Ooh,
interesting.
So someone is having a hermit moment.
Yeah.
And they could be having eclipses happen.
Oh, yes.
In the 12th house, or planets move into their 12th house. And the 12th house are referred to as the land of far, far away. Spiritual pilgrimage. That if he's getting that, it means he wants to connect with his inner spirituality and take it to the next level. And isolation is often a part about that. And I'll see if the Hermit card turns up as well.
Oh, that would be good. What? Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, that one fell out.
Recently, I've been called to seek out a life in a tiny house in the woods. Is that on my life path? And that is Jeffrey Lee.
I'm going to jump in. I can't be more specific than that. So it does feel, yes, that inner knowing or that call or both of those is your direction. And so leaving it open for, it's interesting, within the next few years, within 3 years, card came up. So that's what you've created. If you see that timeline being different, you can adjust that. It's the insight card. So you just having that knowing, you're in that creation. So it's, to me, I get a full body yes, if that's what you choose to kind of be in the energy of. You're that powerful in being able to create that. So it's a yes and a yes and a yes.
Wow. Do I read more cards or my cards, or do you have more to add, Kevin?
No, that's it.
All right. Very interesting cards here, Jeffrey Lee. My God. Out of 5 cards, you've got 3 major arcana.
Oh, powerful.
Which means big changes.
Yeah.
So I'll just get straight into it. Here we are, 5 of Wands. Yeah. When we look at this, what's this all about? Conflict, disagreement, etc., and stuff like that. So the sense I get is that Jeffrey is getting sick and tired of all the BS and all of the douchebaggery in the world, everything that's going on with all these conflicts, battle with people, not feeling like you can relax, and that there's just too much conflict going on in the world, because this is symbolizing the reading, yeah? Noise, cacophony. However, the next card, it is the World card, which means what? Endings and beginnings, beginnings and endings. So this is when something completes. So it's almost like Jeffrey's like, you know what? I am sick and tired of all of this conflict. I'm done. I am done. I just want to put myself away in a cabin and get away from the world. Yeah, quite literally. And when he does this, look what will happen. The next card is the Empress card, which I just pulled, of course, for the person before. So this means what? A new fertile beginning, a time of creativity, rebirth, fecundity, harvest, fruits, vegetables. Look how happy she is sitting there. And even though it's a feminine archetype card, when it comes out for a man, obviously a man's not going to get pregnant, but it means that he's going into a new creative phase, a rebirth of sorts. This isolation could potentially be a rebirth where you'll be what? In nature, yeah? With the fields and all of this stuff, getting into your divine feminine. Also as well, what further adds to this is then the Queen of Cups, yeah? So again, when it comes to the gender, we don't have to be literal. When it turns up for a man, this is a man who's going what? Into his intuition, into his inner world, exploring, yeah, that side and connecting with those intuitive forces. And then the outcome card is the Wheel of Fortune. So, wow, this is dramatic. So this is really changing up your timelines, changing up the outcomes in your life, and you're entering a moment of fate and destiny to become your true self. How about that?
Love it. Off the grid. Off the grid it goes.
I'm going off grid.
I love that. And I love the duality within the energies of the masculine and feminine that actually are a part of all of us. And in that recognition, we can take it in that way as well. I love that.
Absolutely.
We've got, I'm just going to make mention, I was going to say that I was going to repeat it about the, if any of you know or do not know that Karen Starseed 1111, I might have got that channel name wrong, but Karen Rickson, within our community, her partner, Joe, is on the heart transplant list. In that they are open to help through donation if you feel called to help. The link to the GoFundMe is in the description box below, as well as I'll be adding the PayPal link. So if you do feel called to contribute, that would be wonderful. She's just such a pillar in this community, and so just really needing support. So, and even if that comes through prayer and positive thoughts and light, of course, anything that can be given is appreciated. And of course, Hogarth, a wonderful guest. If you have not subscribed to his channel, the link is also in the description box below. He's got some consultations that will be opened in January, the new year. And I tell you, he's good. I mean, you've just seen it. He's wonderful. We'll maybe do one more question, Hogarth. And not to put you on the spot, but I don't know what this is, but I feel like you do.
What is your thoughts on, it's quite interesting. Some people put the letters in my name slightly bigger. I only need the H to be a capital letter. Anyway, never mind. So Hogarth, what is your thoughts on astrocartography? I would love to have the Vedic perspective on this. Right. Yes, I actually do. Believe it or not, I actually do astrocartography as part of some of the consultations that I do. And there is something to it. It is fascinating. So essentially, according to a person's chart, what astrocartography can do is look at sort of almost like these ley lines, these grid lines of energy going basically through the earth, yeah, but around the globe. And it will have like ascendants, and it will have Venus, and it will have Saturn, and all this kind of stuff. And the long and short of it is that you want to go near or be within the realms of a line that is connected with one of your best planets. Yeah. And the houses it rules and stuff like that. And that can really help when you change that location, can help you align more with those energies. But also understand really, when we go long distances, like from one side of a country to another, up and down, north, south, east, west, and particularly whenever we cross an ocean, or go to islands and stuff like that, it is the 12th house, which I call the land of far, far away. And sometimes a change is as good as a rest, but there is something to it. Too long to explain now, but it's to do with a person's chart and how those energies of that chart relate to the rest of the world, basically.
Brilliant. All right. I think that is a good place to end. I'm going to make mention that tomorrow, for those of you that we didn't get to, obviously all of the questions, I am actually heading, just after this ends, I'm heading over to Debbie Freebird Spirit and Kim Intuitive View for at 4:30 Pacific time, so 7:30 Eastern. I'm on their channel, and then tomorrow I'll be doing personal questions on Sherry H. Voices from the Swamp at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And then at noon, Scott Scorpio Moon Tarot, I am on his channel doing personal questions as well. So if we didn't get to you, do follow us there on our perspective channels. Hogarth, tell us actually what shows you do.
So
before you lose your voice.
Still hacking up.
He's like,
so my Wednesdays, so like normally Wednesdays, I might do a collaboration or I'll talk about astrology and stuff like that. So I was with the Soul Sisters the other day, had them on my channel. I know you've been on their channel and vice versa. But my main show, of course, is the Saturday one, which is the Hogili. So that's Lady G, aka Ganga, from New Mexico. Oh my gosh, she's got so many stories and stuff like that. It's just incredible. We talk about the historical event. She goes, I was there. Yeah. She just casually admits. And then, of course, Dr. Lena Rodriguez, who's based in Australia, and we do that every Saturday. And we go out 7 p.m. Eastern, which I think is 4 p.m. Pacific. And, of course, we talk about events, global events and stuff like that around the world. And it just kind of races by. So that's one of the main ones. And then the rest of the week, I do clients, my client consultations and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, busy times.
Wonderful. And yeah, is it once a month that I'm on your channel? I can't remember. It usually
like once a month. So yeah, definitely. Let's collab again. Let's get you back in the new year. Something's going to be very different next year, but I'm going to keep stum for now. But you'll see next year, 2023, big changes.
Amazing. Awesome. Hogarth, a pleasure. Thank you so much for being a guest. And thanks everybody for joining us. And we will see you all again. Have a wonderful night, a wonderful weekend, and take care. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.